Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. Today I want to give an update on some tests I've had done. I was hoping I would have all of the results by the time I was making this video, but I do not. So I will unlikely talk about the mixed meal tolerance test because I don't have all of the lab work back, nor do I have the actual report back. But I can talk about my echocardiogram and some conversations I'm having with some of my providers. I will start with the echocardiogram. I had it a couple weeks ago at this point. My ejection fraction is relatively stable at 55 to 60%. My cardiac output has dropped a tiny bit. It's basically still the same, though it didn't drop significantly, but it's now just a tiny bit under 3 liters versus back in 2022, albeit it was by cardiac MRI, not echocardiogram. It was 4.59 liters. Then by echocardiogram in 2023, it was 3.43 liters. And this echo, it was 2.96. So it is going down. It's been going down the whole time. I've been getting echocardiograms and cardiac MRIs and sort of looking at the trend. The other thing that was different was my mitral valve. So that's the valve between the left side ventricle and left side atrium. All the way back in April of 2023, it did say there was mild thickening, and then nothing in 2020, that was 2023, and then nothing mentioned in either of my 2024 echocardiograms. And this year, it's saying that I have diffuse thickening. So it went from mild to diffuse. Now, I do keep in mind that echocardiograms are dependent on how good the sonographer is. Now, I did have the same person who did my echo this year as last year, and it did not have, they didn't see any thickening last year, so that might be an accurate finding. I have not seen cardiology yet. I see them is it next week? I see them next week. So I will update then. But that was really the only thing going on with the echocardiogram that had really changed. I mean, we could talk about the left ventricular end diastolic and end systolic volumes, but since my cardiac output is a little bit lower than it was last year, it stands to reason that the volumes are also a little bit lower. So, yeah. Oh, it also said my left ventricle is small. It's never said that before. In most of my past echocardiograms and cardiac MRIs, it actually gave me the mass of my left ventricle. This one did not do that. It just says small left ventricle. So I don't know how small is, but it's something I will bring up with the cardiologist when I have my appointment next week. The other test I had done, like I've mentioned, was the mixed meal tolerance test, and I don't have all of the results back, but suffice it to say, my insulin, blood sugar, and C-peptide were all sky high during the test, and then they all came plummeting back down, which has been my pattern for the entire time I've been tracking my blood sugar wearing the continuous glucose monitor. That being said, for some reason my endocrinologist wants to move up my January appointment to discuss the mixed meal tolerance test and discuss treatment. I've already told him that I don't want treatment. I just want to do it through diet and lifestyle changes. I guess having the appointment sooner rather than later isn't really going to change that, but that's sort of the most I can say about that test right now, as I do not have the report as of now. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the mitochondrial center in Philadelphia. I have been messaging them back and forth, sort of figuring like what the next steps are going to be. And I had gone to a webinar, and their clinical director was the speaker for the webinar. And we were able to ask questions. So I gave a very brief history of myself, sort of my systemic issues and the lactate after exercise and that sort of stuff, and asked the clinical director of the program in Philadelphia if that person should get mitochondrial DNA testing, because they're being told, i.e. I am being told, that it's not really worth it and that a muscle biopsy isn't even on the table because they don't know what genes to go after because I don't match a known phenotype. And she basically said the exact opposite for everything, stating that with the presentation it's still suspicious for mitochondrial disease even if everything else is negative, and that case might benefit from a muscle biopsy if the genetic testing is negative, because we don't know everything about genes yet, and it was still suspicious just because of the systemic nature of things. I was originally going to wait to say anything to my current providers until I had a screenshot recording of this webinar, but they had made some comments that it just flowed in the conversation, and so I responded basically saying I'm confused how these two approaches exist at the same time, at the same center, because one of them is how you present to the public, which is no, if you present with this multi-system condition with no answers, we'll do all this testing, and that's why people apply there, because that's how they look like when you watch them on webinar. But when you go there, they, at least my experience and other people's experiences from online, say they only care about genetics. So I basically said yo, what's going on? And it was probably a week or so before they responded, and they basically said we took your case to a team meeting. It was decided we can't rule out mitochondrial disease. We can talk about the muscle biopsy when you come for follow-up. Now, I'm not getting my hopes up, because the last time they discussed a muscle biopsy, tell me that they weren't going to offer it, was because they didn't know what genes to test for. So I don't know if this is still just a genetic muscle biopsy, or if it's the whole shebang where they're gonna do light and electron microscopy and respiratory chain analysis and all of that stuff. So I will definitely find that out before I get excited about it. And I definitely want to have the mitochondrial DNA testing with urine before a biopsy. I want to move in a stepwise pattern, but I'm still considering it progress until they prove otherwise, unless they just say no, we're just going to do genetic testing on it or whatever. But maybe progress in that realm. That's going to be it for this one. Like I said last week, next week, I have my cardiologist appointment and my GI appointment. So I might wait until next weekend to post a video so I can update on both of those things. And then I should also have in theory, I should have my mixed meal tolerance test by then also. So maybe not another video until the 8th or the 9th, just so I can wrap up sort of the medical side of things, and then speak to my lifestyle and diet changes I've been making and the changes I'm already seeing in my blood sugar. So that is going to be it for this one. I hope everyone is having a good day whenever it is you are seeing this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.